Welcome to the OPSU Athletics Coaches Show, brought to you by Charles White State Farm. My name is Shawn Joy, and we are here with head women's soccer coach Ken McAlpine. Ken, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good to have you. The season just finished, and that's why
Yes,
we're
sir.
here. It was a great season, historical across the board, and we just want to recap the season and kind of see what you guys are going to do in the spring, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
First thing we want to talk about is our overall record on the season was 6-7-2. We were very, very close to finishing over 500. But just talk about the record and why it was a good season.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to the team and their perseverance and their belief, because it wasn't an easy season for us. Played some really good opponents and then had some obstacles along the way with, I think, 6 in concussion protocol throughout the year and a lot of injuries and some red cards and all that kind of stuff. And so, whenever we had like our stretch run where we beat Nelson at home, Central Christian, then drew against USAO, every game was like a different lineup. Every game was different tactics. And we didn't really get a fully healthy squad back together until playoff time, And so to go through that whole season and be able to accomplish those results, given the circumstances, I think is what we're most proud of, and I think is a credit to the group.
How close were we to that over 500 record?
Yeah, like less than a minute. Less than a minute. We were right there, and then it was a beautiful set piece goal by Wayland Baptist, so credit to them. But yeah, like less than a minute away, we were winning that game, and then last minute they scored a goal to draw, and that prevented us from having that winning record. But still. I think the girls played well, and we have a season to be proud of.
Well, like I said, best record in program history, and it looked like it's only going to keep getting better. Undefeated at home this year.
Yes.
The friendly confines of Anchor East Stadium.
Yes.
Talk about what that meant for you guys to defend home, every match, and why do you think that was possible?
Well, I think the team takes a lot of pride. And it goes back to kind of like when we're recruiting the players and selling this place as a special place. It's not for everybody, but I think the players that really buy into it, they tend to fall in love with the area. And we say it's like, it might be a crap town, but it's our crap town, basically. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. We've got to take pride in it. Mm-hmm. And we talk about how teams, like, they never want to come here. It's a long drive. There's not much to see along the way. It's a small town. And then this year we can add, and they never lose at home, or at least we didn't this year, give them another reason why they don't want to come out here, but kind of instilling that pride. Whenever we go on the road, I have the girls pick up like a rock, at the beginning of the year and take a little piece of home with us whenever we travel. And so, yeah, I think the team just really takes pride in where we are and playing at home and trying to, grow the sport around campus. It's still new and it's only been really competitive the last few years. And so trying to get people excited and obviously getting results at home, brings that excitement. So hopefully that carries over into next year.
Speaking of results at home, first time ever we had a result against a ranked opponent,
yeah.
USAO. That was a huge, huge deal for you guys. Talk about that. What did the girls do that day, and what did that mean to the program?
Yeah, I mean, we had to have a very specific game plan against them. They're a very good team, and they move the ball and play very good soccer. And so we had to be very disciplined. We knew we wouldn't have the majority of the ball that game. And so that comes with, being able to hold your belief, even though you're not dominating the game, even if you feel like you're on the back foot, that we're going to get our moment. We just need to stay tight defensively. Our moment's going to come. And the team did that, even though we got scored on first and we went down. I thought we responded really well. And I think that gave the team confidence, going into other difficult opponents, John Brown and OCU in the playoffs. And the returners will keep that with them going into next year as well. USAO is the top team in the program, and they're going to go to the national tournament again this year, that we can get results against teams like that. I think that's an important message that the returners will give to the new players next year.
So we had the best record in program history. Statistically, across the board, mm-hmm. Most of our stats were the best they've ever been. Just talk about some of those stats that were the best in program history and what that mean to you guys.
Yeah, I think, they were all program highs, certainly goals scored. We made a big jump in like goals scored per game. And I think it's been brought up, but it hasn't been one just one specific person doing the scoring. The scoring was really spread out. Assists were really spread out. Mix of set pieces and during, the run of play. And so I think we showed that we can score in a lot of different ways. I think we were a lot more versatile this year compared to last year. And we had, maybe more people that could impact the game and put the ball in the back of the net or set that play up to put the ball in the back of the net. So I think just all around the team performed better. We were harder to defend against, and we were a more complete side this year.
So Emma Contreras and Emily Chavez were both selected as all-conference second team.
Yeah,
that's a great honor for the girls, and also speaks to the health of the program.
Sure.
Talk about those two girls a little bit and just the kind of years that they had and how they helped the club.
Yeah, I think it's a tough task to get into the all-conference team. This year it was just the top 6 programs that got players in. So 7th through 10th got 0 players, and so it's just dominated by the top teams in the conference. So for us to get 2 is a good honor. Emily was one of our captains, and I thought she did a really good job of keeping this team together and keeping them positive. And man, she was a great voice in the back line. She was constantly talking. You always want a coach on the field, but that's a lot easier said than done, right? But to have a player like that is essentially a coach on the field, and for the most part, like everything she says is like what I would want the team to do, so that's been a blessing. And Emma Contreras is a new player to the program, and I think she came in ready to work and kind of took on a lot of responsibility as a new player, certainly a talent on the attacking side. And she did well. She was one that missed a few games, but I think her perseverance and the way that she came back and her mindset and her attitude of wanting to continue to grow and grind and work for the team, so she's very deserving of that award, as is Emily. So super happy for them, and first time that we've gotten 2, into those all conference teams. And like I said, that's a very hard task to do. So super proud of them.
So the top 6 teams got all the all conference awards.
Yes.
We finished 6th, like we talked about earlier. We climbed the ladder again. Last year it was 8. This year it's 6. What did that mean for you and the girls and the program to get to 6 this year?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a motivating factor. Like the new players that we welcomed in. I was talking with them about what we're trying to accomplish this year. Like, this is what we're trying to do. Do you want to be a part of that? And then obviously the returners had set their own expectations and their goals. And, when we met in the fall, we talked about what are we trying to collectively do as a group, and trying to set like concrete goals, things that we can work towards. I think most teams do that, but when you start along the road and you're seeing that you're passing these milestones and you're seeing that you're making progress towards this path that you've planned out, like, hey, we're actually doing it. We're actually walking this path. I think it just further motivates the group, and so I think that certainly helped, especially whenever we didn't start the conference season off well. Exactly. We took 2 losses to begin the conference season, and had multiple cards in that second game and multiple injuries in that second game. And then we were coming and playing Nelson at home. And that was kind of, the make or break of the season, I think, but I think once we got that win, there was it instilled new life and new hope into the group that, like, we're still a good team. We can still accomplish these goals. So it was great. It's not every year that you accomplish those things that you set out to do, and last year we made it to the playoffs for the first time and kind of up the level, but that was going to mean nothing if we just went back down again, and so I thought it was really important this year that we tried to progress it even further, send a message that, like, we're here to stay, we're a program that's not just one random year is good, that we're going to be consistently good. And so I think being able to accomplish that and show that this year was a huge step for the program.
You hit on it a little bit, but like you said, not wanting to be just a one good year and then gone again. Second year in a row making the conference tournament. You don't take those for granted, but It's also an expectation or a standard that you want to be in a tournament. So how much did it mean to you and the girls that you were able to not only get there last year, but then back it up this year with a higher ranking into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's something I think that that they can be proud of. I hope they're proud of, and what the ones that are graduating and leaving, and we have a couple players that have been here for 4 years, and they spent their whole career here. And so I'm happy that they were able to experience kind of this growth process and be a part of that. But, I've said this a lot, the SAC conference is just so tough, top to bottom, and there's you can't just say, okay, we're at least going to be at this level because, there's no teams that you can just expect to beat. And so if you want to make the conference tournament, then you have to win several games against quality opponents. And so even the teams that finish below us, like the games are super tough, very competitive. And so I think it's a tremendous accomplishment for the players, and happy that we were able to go twice, and we'll try to keep the streak going.
Last thing before we let you go, what does spring soccer look like? What is it? The season's over. You transition into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then next semester. What does the rest of the year look like for you guys as a schedule, and what you're trying to accomplish as a program?
Yeah, so we have to take a couple months off, with the sports schedule, but we come back in January and start lifting, and then regular practices start back in February, and so we're going to be training every day, and weightlifting and conditioning, and hopefully getting the players fitness levels really high by the end of May when they leave for the summer, and keep them motivated to not lose all that fitness over the summer. So we're going to be doing fitness testing in January before spring break, and then before they leave for the summer, and hopefully they get to a place that they're happy with, and they maintain that over the summer. We'll play a few spring games, and that'll also double us some recruiting because we're going to be playing some junior colleges. And so, get the girls some competition. We'll get to see more players play a lot more minutes. We'll get to maybe experiment a little bit with different formations or people in different positions. We'll set some individual goals at the beginning of the semester and talk about what technical skills they want to work on to try to become better athletes, and try to create some plans to do that. And hopefully by the end of the semester, they'll have made some progress. So yeah, I think spring is a very important time to continue growth, but also to start building expectations going into the fall, and why are we doing these spring workouts, and why are we continuing to grind? Because we have something important that we're looking forward to in the fall, and so I think the goal setting and the work that goes into, I guess, accomplishing your goals in the fall, starts in the spring. So it comes down to identifying what you want to accomplish and trying to get the team to desire that and work for it. And hopefully we can do that this spring.
Well, Coach, 2025 women's Aggie soccer was a record-breaking year. Congratulations to you and the girls.
Thank you.
That does it for our latest episode of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Charles White State Farm. We'll see you next time.